Today, scams robbed Australians of more than $2 billion last year. Hello again, it's Martin North from Digital Finance Analytics. Welcome to this post covering finance and problem news with a distinctively Australian flavour. Well, the ACCC reports that Australians lost a record amount of more than $2 billion in scams in 2021, despite government, law enforcement and private sector disrupting more scam activity than ever before. That's according to the latest Targeting Scams report. The report compiles data from Scamwatch, reports cyber, major banks and money remitters and other government agencies, and is based on analysis of more than 560,000 reports. Reported losses to all organisations total almost $1.8 billion, but as 1/3 of victims do not report scams, the ACCC estimates actual losses are well over $2 billion. Investment scams were the biggest loss category at $701 million in 2021, followed by payment redirection scams at $227 million and romance scams at $142 million. Scam activity continues to increase, and last year a record number of Australians lost a record amount of money, ACCC Deputy Chair DJ Rickard said. Scammers are the most opportunistic of all criminals. They pose as charities after a natural disaster, health departments during a pandemic, and love interests every day. The true cost of scams is more than a dollar figure, as they also cause serious emotional harm to individuals, families and businesses. Based on reports to Scamwatch in 2021, women reported the most scams, but men lost more money than women, and men's losses to investment scams were double women's losses. In culturally and linguistically diverse communities, women had slightly higher losses than men. People aged 65 years and over reported the highest losses and reported losses steadily increasing with age. In 2021, Scamwatch received record levels of reports and losses from Australians that may have been experiencing vulnerability or hardship. And people with disability made twice as many reports compared to 2020, and their financial losses increased by 102% to $19.6 million. The number of reports by Indigenous Australians increased by 43% between 2020 and 2021, and reported losses increased by 142%. And people from culturally and linguistically diverse communities experienced an 88% increase in losses last year compared to 2020. The increasing number of reports by people experiencing vulnerability is a very worrying trend. Everyone from government to banks and digital platforms need to do more to address this, Ms. Rickard said. The ACCC is particularly wanting banks to match pay information in pay anyone transactions. This has been shown to have a real impact in countries that have done so. An ACCC research presented in the report shows that scams are almost ubiquitous in Australia today. 96% of respondents had been exposed to scammers in the previous 5 years, and 20% had fallen victim. Of those who lose money, 56% were unable to recover any of it. In 2021, the ACCC increased its work with government agencies, domestic and international law enforcement and major banks and telecommunications providers to share intelligence, disrupt scams and raise awareness in the community. An international effort involving the Australian Federal Police led to the flu bot scam being stopped earlier this year. And in 2021, the telecommunications sector's new Reducing Scams Calls industry code resulted in more than 357 million scam calls being blocked. The public and private sectors have introduced a number of new counter-fraud initiatives over the past couple of years, but there are still too many gaps in the system that scammers are able to exploit, Ms. Rickard said. And Scamwatch data shows that between 2020 and 2021, there was a 60% reduction in losses from inheritance and unexpected money scams, and only a 1% increase in losses from travel, prizes and lottery scams. Conversely, though, losses from investment scams increased by 162% over the 12 months. We have seen a marked decline in some of the older low-end scams and an enormous increase in more sophisticated white-collar fraud, such as cryptocurrency investment scams, Ms. Rickard said. There was a spike last year in scams relating to pyramid and Ponzi schemes, largely due to the emergence of some sophisticated Ponzi investment scam apps. If an investment opportunity seems too good to be true, we urge all Australians to not go anywhere near it, as Rickard said. And one other interesting observation is that the predominant channel of scam is still the telephone, but of course online scams are also increasing. So once again, it is very important that people take precautions, and especially if you are receiving calls that you don't expect from someone you don't know, offering advice or asking you to transfer money, don't do it. And of course, be very cautious with online and social media scams, particularly those spooking investment strategies and crypto. Particularly now, I've noticed on my channel, for example, in the YouTube comments section, how many crypto scammers are now saying, well, yeah, cryptos have dropped, but now is a great time. Don't believe it. So be cautious and be careful. Don't get scammed. I'm Martin North from Digital Finance Analytics. Many thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.